He was once the golden boy of pop, the sweet-faced kid who rose from the Mickey Mouse Club to dominate the charts, the heartthrob who had millions of girls screaming his name, the pop star who could dance, sing, act, and charm his way into every living room in America. For years, Justin Timberlake seemed untouchable. The media crowned him the Prince of Pop, the man who could do no wrong. But behind the glossy covers, behind the smiles and perfectly rehearsed interviews, there were cracks in the crown, whispers of betrayal, scandals swept under the rug, and an empire that was built on borrowing, manipulating, and escaping consequences. From his messy fallout with Britney Spears, to the Super Bowl scandal with Janet Jackson, to the cheating rumors, failed comebacks, and the shocking arrest that turned him into a tabloid punchline, Justin's story is no longer about success. It's about survival. And now, as his empire crumbles, we have to ask, did Justin Timberlake create his own downfall? Or was it inevitable all along? This is the truth about his rise, his reign, and the secrets that destroyed his kingdom. Justin Timberlake's rise to superstardom was the kind of story Hollywood loves to sell. A kid from Memphis who joined the Mickey Mouse Club in the early 90s, singing alongside Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and Ryan Gosling. He was polished, confident, and ambitious even then. By 1995, he had joined NSYNC, and the boy band era officially had its king. Timberlake quickly became the breakout star, with his blonde curls and cheeky smile making him the poster boy for teen pop. The group sold tens of millions of albums worldwide, and suddenly Justin wasn't just a singer, he was a phenomenon. Girls taped his posters on their walls, MTV ran his videos on repeat, and every late-night show wanted him on the couch. But Justin didn't just want to be in a boy band, he wanted to be bigger than that. He watched how Michael Jackson moved, how Prince created worlds with their music, and he wanted that for himself. In 2002, he stepped out alone with his debut album Justified. The album was filled with hits like I Love You and Cry Me a River, a track that cemented him as a solo artist and turned his breakup with Britney Spears into his ultimate weapon. The music video, which painted Britney as a cheater, made Justin look like the heartbroken victim. The world ate it up. He sold millions of records, won Grammys, and stepped into the role of America's golden boy, while Britney was left to defend herself against relentless media attacks. It was the first time Justin used someone else's downfall to fuel his rise. And it worked. Then came his second album, Future Sex Love Sounds, in 2006. With Timbaland behind the production, the record became a cultural reset. Songs like Sexy Back and My Love dominated charts and clubs. Critics who once dismissed him as just another boy band singer now praised him as the next great pop innovator. He was everywhere, on stage with Madonna, on SNL making viral sketches, acting in movies, headlining world tours. The Prince of Pop label became official. Justin wasn't just surviving the post-boy band curse, he was thriving. And yet, there was a dark side even in those early years. Because while Justin's star was rising, others were paying the price. In 2004, he performed at the Super Bowl halftime show with Janet Jackson. In a moment that would become infamous, he ripped part of her costume, exposing her on live TV. The backlash destroyed Janet's career. Radio bans, lost endorsements, public humiliation. Justin, meanwhile, walked away unscathed. He issued a half apology, shrugged, and continued to climb. For years, he avoided accountability while Janet carried the weight. It was the moment the world should have questioned Justin Timberlake. But instead, they gave him another pass. The late 2000s to mid-2010s became Justin's untouchable era. He wasn't just a singer anymore, he was Hollywood's favorite multi-hyphenate. His film career took off with Alpha Dog, Friends with Benefits, and the critically acclaimed The Social Network. His comedy sketches on Saturday Night Live, like D***K in a Box, turned him into a mainstream darling. He could sing, act, and make people laugh. He wasn't just an entertainer, he was entertainment itself. And then there was his marriage to Jessica Biel. In 2012, they tied the knot, and for years the press painted them as the perfect Hollywood couple. The family man image elevated him even further, making him seem untouchable, someone who had it all. By the mid-2010s, Timberlake was the guy who could perform at the Super Bowl, release chart-topping singles, land movie roles, and still be photographed on vacation with his wife and kids. But behind the scenes, not everything was as perfect as it seemed. There were whispers of infidelity. In 2010, rumors linked him to actress Olivia Munn. and other blind items suggested his marriage wasn't as solid as it looked. His music, while commercially successful, started to face criticism. Accusations of cultural appropriation followed him as he leaned heavily on R&B and hip-hop stylings while distancing himself from the communities that created them. He apologized occasionally, but the apologies felt rehearsed, insincere, a way to move past the criticism without ever changing his behavior. Still, he remained on top. Endorsements with Sony, Pepsi, and his investment in MySpace kept his business profile high. His clothing lines and restaurant ventures kept his name circulating in every corner of pop culture. For years, Timberlake looked like he was invincible, the rare child star who had not only survived, but conquered. But what no one realized at the time was that his entire empire was built on a delicate illusion, that Justin Timberlake could always charm his way out of controversy, that he could always escape accountability, that the world would always forgive him. It was an illusion that worked for over a decade, until the cracks began to show. By the late 2010s, the world that once adored Justin Timberlake started asking questions he didn't want to answer. The cracks that had been papered over for years finally split open in 2021, when Britney Spears' conservatorship battle thrust her past into the spotlight. For decades, Justin had coasted on the narrative that he was the victim in their breakup, using songs like Cry Me a River to build his career. But Britney's fans weren't having it anymore. They dug up old interviews, clips where Justin joked about sleeping with Britney, where he laughed about exploiting her private life for fame. They remembered how he turned her heartbreak into his victory, and suddenly, the world saw it differently. He wasn't the heartbroken ex-boyfriend, he was the opportunist who weaponized a young woman's pain. The backlash was swift. #cancel Justin trended across social media. Fans demanded apologies for not only Britney, but also Janet Jackson, who had been left to suffer for nearly 2 decades after the Super Bowl scandal, while Justin's career thrived. In 2021, Timberlake finally posted a statement on Instagram, apologizing to both women. But it was too little, too late. His words felt manufactured, a PR move, not genuine remorse. For years, he had stayed silent while others were destroyed. And now, when his own reputation was on the line, he suddenly found his conscience. The public didn't buy it. Then came Britney's memoir in 2023. In it, she detailed their relationship, confirming long-standing rumors that Justin pressured her into an abortion when they were young. She described his manipulation, his cruelty, and the way he used her struggles to build his own image. The memoir reignited old wounds, and this time, Timberlake couldn't hide. Paparazzi caught him looking disheveled, avoiding cameras, refusing to answer questions. He deactivated his Instagram for weeks. His team scrambled to spin the narrative, but it didn't work. The golden boy image had finally shattered. The same media that once celebrated him was now circling, tearing apart the myth of Justin Timberlake piece by piece. Meanwhile, his music career was floundering. His 2018 album Man of the Woods was panned by critics and mocked online. Fans called it out of touch, a clumsy attempt to reinvent himself as a country man, while still leaning on pop and R&B trends. The era ended up being more meme than masterpiece, with his Super Bowl halftime performance that year remembered less for the music and more for a bizarre tribute to Prince that Minneapolis fans found offensive. By the time Britney's memoir landed, Timberlake had gone from trendsetter to has-been. The world that once couldn't get enough of him now questioned why they ever celebrated him in the first place. If the Britney revelations weren't bad enough, Timberlake's personal life began to unravel too. In 2019, he was caught on camera holding hands with actress Alicia Wainwright while filming a movie in New Orleans. The photos showed him looking drunk, his wedding ring noticeably missing. The images went viral, sparking rumors that he had cheated on Jessica Biel. Though he later issued a public apology, blaming alcohol and poor judgment, the damage was done. For years, the public had seen Justin and Jessica as Hollywood's perfect couple. Suddenly, that image cracked wide open. Jessica reportedly forgave him, but the stain on his reputation never fully washed away. By 2023, Justin Timberlake was no longer the pop savior, no longer the cultural darling. He was a man in survival mode, trying desperately to hold onto relevance while the walls closed in. The collapse became undeniable in 2024. In June, Justin Timberlake was arrested for driving while intoxicated in Sag Harbor, New York. The mugshot told the story better than words could. Glassy-eyed, pale, exhausted. The images spread across the internet within hours, instantly becoming memes. The man who once embodied perfection was reduced to a tabloid punchline. For fans who had defended him through the Britney fallout, through the Janet scandal, through the cheating rumors, this was the final straw. The illusion of Justin Timberlake as America's golden boy was gone forever. The arrest also revealed something deeper, an unraveling that had been happening behind the scenes for years. Sources claimed Justin had been struggling with alcohol for a long time, and that the pressures of fame, the backlash, and his failing music career had pushed him over the edge. Once the media would have protected him, downplayed the incident, painted it as a minor slip. But not anymore. The coverage was brutal. Headlines called him washed up, a disgrace, a relic of pop's toxic past. The king of reinvention had finally run out of reinventions. The timing couldn't have been worse. Justin had been planning a comeback tour, hoping to remind the world of his talent, but the arrest overshadowed everything. Ticket sales slowed, critics mocked the very idea of a Timberlake revival, and fans openly questioned whether they wanted to support him anymore. His empire, built on music, endorsements, acting, and public charm, was collapsing from every angle. And while he was facing professional humiliation, his personal life was unraveling too. Jessica Biel, who had stood by him through cheating rumors and public apologies, reportedly hit her breaking point. Rumors of separation and divorce swirled, with insiders claiming she was tired of standing by a man who constantly embarrassed her. For years, she had been the steady force behind his image, the wife who kept the family man brand alive. Now, even that was slipping away. The public perception of Justin Timberlake shifted dramatically. He was no longer the cheeky boy band star or the smooth solo artist. He was a man whose past sins had finally caught up with him. Britney's story haunted him. Janet's legacy overshadowed him. His mugshot defined him. Every headline painted the same picture. Justin Timberlake wasn't just out of favor, he was finished. By 2025, the conversation around Justin wasn't about his music or his movies, it was about his downfall. Pop culture writers dissected his career, pointing out the pattern of escaping accountability at the expense of others. Social media users mocked his every move, turning his once polished image into meme fodder. His legacy was rewritten in real time, not as a pop genius, but as the man who got away with everything for years, only to watch it all collapse in the end. Justin Timberlake was sold as the perfect package: the voice, the looks, the charm, the family man image. But perfection was always a performance. Behind the scenes, he was making choices that hurt others, manipulating narratives, and benefiting from double standards. When the world finally stopped giving him passes, the illusion fell apart. Now, Justin Timberlake's story is no longer about chart-topping hits or sold-out tours. It's about downfall, about the dangers of unchecked fame, about the lies and betrayals that can only stay hidden for so long. He once sang about bringing sexy back. But today, what's left isn't sexy, isn't glamorous, and isn't golden. It's a tragic reminder that no matter how high you climb, the fall always comes. And for Justin Timberlake, the fall has been long, brutal, and very public. So the question remains, was Justin Timberlake always destined to fall? Or did he build his empire on foundations so shaky that collapse was inevitable? One thing is clear, the secrets he tried to hide are no longer secrets. They're headlines, and they've revealed the truth about a man who once had it all and now has almost nothing. In the end, Justin Timberlake's legacy is a complicated one. For every #1 single, there's a scandal. For every standing ovation, there's a headline about betrayal or hypocrisy. He was the kid who broke away from a boy band and defined pop stardom for an entire generation, but also the man who let ambition and ego chip away at the image he tried so hard to protect. Fans look back and see both sides: the undeniable entertainer who gave them anthems and unforgettable performances, and the manipulator who threw others under the bus to protect himself. For many, Justin's story feels less like a hero's journey and more like a cautionary tale of fame without accountability. Even now, his future feels uncertain. Will Justin manage to stage another comeback, reinventing himself once again in the age of social media scrutiny? Or has the culture shifted too far, leaving no room for the kind of unchecked stardom he once enjoyed? One thing is clear, Timberlake's name will always be etched into pop history. But whether it's remembered with admiration or regret depends on who you ask. He was once seen as untouchable, Today, he stands as proof that even the brightest stars can burn out when the truth catches up. So, what do you think? Was Justin Timberlake simply a victim of impossible fame, or was he the architect of his own downfall? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another deep dive into the rise and fall of the world's biggest stars.